This lesson, 10-4, is about supplementary angles.
Two angles are supplementary angles if the sum of their measures is 180 degrees.
So the whole definition behind calling two angles supplementary is that when you add their measurements together, you always get 180 degrees.
Supplementary angles that are adjacent form a straight angle.
If you have supplementary angles that are right side by side or adjacent, then they're going to create a straight angle because together they add to make 180 degrees. And so if you put them together, they're going to make a straight angle, which is also 180 degrees.
Angle AOB and angle BOC are supplementary adjacent angles.
These two angles are supplementary and adjacent. Because they are adding to make 180, they are supplementary, and because they are right side by side, we call them adjacent.
Notice that as the measures of the two angles change, the sum of their measures is still 180 degrees. Suppose two supplementary angles are not adjacent.
Angles don't have to be adjacent to be supplementary. These two angles are not adjacent because they are not side by side, but they're still supplementary because they still add to make 180 degrees.
Even though angle AOB and angle BOC are not adjacent, the sum of their measures remains 180 degrees as the measures of the two angles change.
Our first task is to sketch or draw adjacent and supplementary angles for each of our examples. So I'll get you started on the first one. This angle we have is 50 degrees. If we want to draw an angle that's supplementary, we would need another angle that would add with this 50-degree angle to make 180 degrees. So we would need an angle of 130 degrees. But we want to draw it adjacent, so we want to draw it right side by side here. So if I draw straight out, because I know that 180 degrees is going to make that straight angle, I can say that this part here is, this part here is 130 degrees. With my 50 degrees makes 180 degrees altogether, and together it makes this straight angle. Okay. Here, well, you go ahead and try to finish them. I bet you can do some of them on your own. So pause the video, try the next two, and then play the video to make sure you did them right. Here on this second example, we have a measurement of 165 degrees. If we want a supplement, we need another angle that will add to be 180. Well, 165 plus 15 degrees would make 180 total degrees. But we want to draw it adjacent, so we want to draw it right side by side here. If we just stretch out this part so that we get this straight angle all the way across, then this little piece would have to be 15 degrees, so that all together they make 180, and all together they make this straight angle. This is an example of two angles, the 165 and the 15, that are supplementary because they add to make 180, and also adjacent because they're side by side. All right, on this last one, we already have a right angle symbol, so we know that this angle is 90 degrees. We could draw another angle that's beside it, adjacent, that's also going to have to be 90 degrees. Because if they're both 90 degrees, then we know that together they make 180, and those are supplementary and adjacent. Suppose the measure of angle ABC equals 48.4 degrees. Find the measure of its supplement. Well, whenever we talk about supplementary angles, we want to talk about angles that make 180 degrees. So our first angle plus the unknown angle must make 180 degrees. We could subtract from both sides. And we see that an angle of 131.6 degrees would be a supplement to our original angle of 48.4 degrees because the two added together would make 180.
What have we here? Aha! Find the angle 50 degrees, no less, no more. Calculate x using the floor. The answer will bring you treasures galore. Excellent! Time to get to work. Oh! I gotta watch out for those tracks.
Right, in this diagram, we have an example of two supplementary and also adjacent angles. They're supplementary because they make this straight angle. So we know that this plus this must make 180. They're also adjacent because they are sharing that vertex and that side. We know that they're supplementary, so we know that 2x plus 50 must equal 180. We use our algebra steps. Two goes into 13 60 times, into 10 5 times. Okay, so x must be 65. Here's another one. Pause the video, try to do it on your own. You really want to be able to do these kinds of problems on your own without any help. So try it out and then play the video to see if you did it correct. Again, we have an example of two supplementary angles. We know that they're supplementary because they're working together, this one and this one, to make this straight angle. And we know that straight angles have 180 degrees. So 4x plus 74 needs to make 180 degrees. Four goes into 10 2 times. Let's see, that leaves 26. 4 goes into 26 6 times with 2 left over out of 4. So we could say 26 and 1/2 or even 26.5. All right, one last example. Can the measures of supplementary angles be equal? Take a minute to think about this. Maybe sketch out a picture or think of some examples. Can you have two angles that are supplementary, but that they are also the same measurement? So your first angle and your second angle are the same. Well, think about it. You want two angles that add to be 180 degrees, and we're wondering if these can be the same value. Well, what about having two right angles? They would be supplementary and they would be the same measurement. So yes. That's it for this lesson. Hope this video helped you understand supplementary angles. Remember that supplementary angles are angles that add to make 180 degrees.